Happy 2025, guys. I can't believe it is already here. So today I'm going to sit down and talk to you guys all about my habits for 2025, what I've kind of changed in the past a little bit to give you a little bit of background, and what kind of my goals are for my habits to change in 2025. So I don't like calling them resolutions because to me, it feels like that's kind of a definitive kind of thing. Whereas I feel like everything I'm doing is changing my habits. And changing habits is not something that you're going to do overnight. It is something that takes a while, that takes progress, that takes failing and trying again or finding the right way for you. So if you're interested in that type of thing, stay tuned, grab a coffee, grab a tea, grab a water, whatever your thing is, and let's talk through this. I want to apologize if I'm kind of all over the place on this video. I'm going to try and keep it together as much as I possibly can and talking kind of categories, but we all know you tend to think of something while you're going, and then it's just like the next thing and the next thing, and you start kind of spiraling and talking about different things. So let's talk first about social media. There's all the talk about TikTok being canceled and all of that. I actually spoke about that recently on my video about my top 10 sellers from 2024 that I did last week. And I am not sure. I feel like it's like the boy that cried wolf. They keep saying they're going to take it away, but they don't. Now, I personally am more of an Instagram person than a TikTok person. I post on TikTok. I put the same stuff I have on Instagram, and I've recently put them here on YouTube as well. If you like seeing them here on YouTube, let me know down in the comments, because sometimes I can tell, sometimes some get views, some don't. And I really enjoyed for 2024 at the end of it doing all of those holiday looks. And now that we're into 2025 though, I'm kind of excited to get back into normal clothes. And I will say about 80% of the items that you saw in those holiday outfit and New Year's Eve outfit ideas were items that I had already owned. And I just kind of repurposed them for the holidays with a different twist, maybe a different pant that I only, like my red pants, I only bring them out at the holidays. I don't know. Do you think I could wear them year round? No, I don't think I would though. I like them at the holidays. With that being said, let's talk about the habit of Instagram, social media, all of those things for 2025. So a while back, I don't remember when it was maybe summertime, kind of went through my Instagram, because I would say that's where I spend the most of my time is on Instagram and scrolling through that. And I removed and unfollowed any account that didn't make me feel good, that I didn't look at and get some sort of joy or happiness from, that made me feel bad about myself, like wishing I had or looked like something, or just somebody that wasn't positive in general. There's some of those out there too. And it felt really, really good to do that. And it definitely changed my outlook on it. I will say too, we all have those couple of friends that we follow that are those negative Nellies that are only on there with negative things. If you don't want to unfollow them, you can mute them. I have learned the beauty of mute. I start by muting their stories if they're too chattery or not positive direction. And if I have to, I mute the actual posts. But I spend more of my time in stories. How about you guys? Do you spend more time on Instagram in stories or on actual posts? Then as far as YouTube, I have personally gotten back into and enjoyed the longer videos and watching those and or listening to them. A lot of them, if they're not something I feel like I have to see an item for, I listen to them while I'm walking, while I'm doing stuff around the house, while I'm getting work stuff done. Like, as I mentioned, TikTok, I know people love the algorithm of TikTok better than the Instagram one. So a lot of people also love that TikTok can be a little bit more mindless, right? The funny dances, the little jokey things. It's not quite as serious, for lack of a better term. So it's interesting to hear. Now, I will say with that, is I want to spend more time on Pinterest this year. I used to love Pinterest, and I will say since I started like the recreating looks in the fall, I kind of fell back into Pinterest a little bit, but I need to like go through, hone in, and kind of like organize my folders and really get more inspiration there. I just find it to be a little bit better, the searches are easier. I don't know. I'm just really kind of excited to dive back into Pinterest again this year. So through Pinterest also is a lot of where I get really great ideas for recreating looks. One of my objectives for 2025 is to kind of shop my own closet. I am going to try to sit down at the beginning of the year within the first, I'd say, month. I want to try and do this and really hone in on no buys, not necessarily no buys. I don't want to call it a no buy because no buy is like saying you can't eat this. As soon as you tell me I can't have it, I'm going to go crazy on it. Like if you say you cannot have carbs, I'm going to eat every carb I see. But if you say to me, you cannot buy this, then I kind of go crazy and buy too much. So I don't want to call it a no buy. I'll have to come up for a word for it. But I just want to kind of give myself barriers, right? Let's put it that way. I want to give myself barriers. I want to kind of sit down, figure out what it is that I need, not want, need in my wardrobe. A lot of times I want things, but I have things that are very similar. So do I really need it? So I need to kind of throw that question out there to myself when I'm thinking of buying something. I think I'm going to try to do a list of things that I need to stay away from buying. Like last year I said to myself, I'm not going to buy as many jeans because I have so many jeans. And then the wide leg trend came out. But I did do well. I limited myself to 3 pairs. So I'm doing okay with that. But I want to write a list and say, these are things that I don't need. And what are things that have either been on my wish list for a super long time? I have a Celine bag, the Triumph, that has been on my list since last year that I keep going back and forth about whether I really want it or not, because I love the look of it and I love the strap, but I also know I don't always carry it over my shoulder. So I just keep questioning that. But that could be on my kind of exceptions list, right? Some of the exceptions could be things like my skincare. When I run out of certain skincare or supplements or things like that that I use every single day, those are okay to spend on or to repurchase. But do I really need another coat, another pair of booties, another ballet flat, whatever that might be? So I want to kind of, in the first month, sit down and kind of create my own list of things that I already own and I don't need another version of, and or things that would be exceptions. And then kind of anytime I'm thinking of something, try to refer to that list. So it's not necessarily on like a tight budget or on a you cannot buy this, just a really questioning purchases I make before I make them for 2025. With that, I will say I want to try, I laugh as I say this, to get ready more daily. I get up, I get in the shower first thing every morning, I put on makeup. Use that term loosely because most days it's just a tinted SPF. Days like today, it's a full foundation and makeup face. So as far as makeup, it depends on the day. But then I throw on my leggings, my t-shirt, and my sweatshirt because I go out for a walk and then I come home and work out and then I eat breakfast and then I go for another walk. And by the time I get to that, it's lunchtime and I'm like, why am I getting ready? I'm going to pick MJ up from school soon and then make dinner. So I need to get out of that mindset and try to get ready more. And those videos where I was doing more of the inspired by an outfit look motivated me to get dressed. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There were days that I did the video, I recreated a look that worked for me, and then I got changed back into my sweatshirt, t-shirt, and my leggings. So if you are sitting home in your comfy whatever clothes, you're not alone. I'm right there with you. When it is cold, I live in New England. When it is cold, the last thing I want to do is put together a cute little outfit. I just want to be warm, comfy, and cozy. Another thing that I want to try and make a habit is I found a couple places around here by us is getting myself in monthly for either a facial or a massage. So kind of me time. I do go to get my nails done every 3 weeks, sometimes 4, depends, but I don't enjoy that. I do it because I want them to look a certain way and because I have super thin nails, so I like to have my nails done, but I don't enjoy sitting to get it done. Like I can never go and get my hands and my toes done at the same time. That is way too much time sitting there. It is not enjoyable for me. I do one, then another week I'll do the other if I need it. Not happening. But I need to try and carve out that time for that habit of once a month going for a facial or a massage to keep my muscles, in a good place, to keep my skin in a good place. I think I really want to make that a habit for 2025. Now, I will say, as I mentioned earlier, I already have some things that have become good habits for myself. And this has taken, these habits I'm going to talk to you about in a minute, have taken a process of over 2 years. When I turn 49, I am going to be 51 on the 9th. And the year I turned 49, I said to myself, I need to create better, healthy habits. I started working out 5 days a week. First I was doing like Pure Barre. Then I found Evlo back again, which I used to do during COVID. And I will say, since May of, 2023, I have stuck with Evlo doing 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day, strength training. Since then, don't get me wrong, there are weeks that it is not happening at all. The week of Christmas, it didn't happen. I got 2 workouts in that week, but it's still the consistency of knowing and creating a habit of knowing what I'm going to do when I have the time to do it. We're all busy during the holidays and our body can use a little bit of rest. But then it was also walking. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I talk every day while I'm walking to you guys on Instagram. And that took a long while. I would say September of 2023, I hated doing 30 minutes a day. I was working with a girl as far as like my health, and she was like, just do 30 minutes a day. And I was like, this is torture, absolute torture. I hated every moment of it. I had to break that 30 minutes into 2 walks. I hated it so much. And if I did it inside, I had to turn a TV show on and just get through it, because inside on a treadmill was even harder than being outside and doing it there. But I found what works for me. And now I do 2 45-minute walks a day. I do 5 to 6 miles a day without thinking about it. And when I started in that September, it got to the winter time and I was like, no. And I was lucky if I got 1 30-minute walk in on the treadmill. I just despised it is the easy. People that say, oh, I love working out and I crave it and I'm addicted to it. I was like, these people are crazy. That being said, I genuinely enjoy my walks, but it was finding the right time for them. I was trying to fit them in the middle of something. I have learned that after MJ goes to school, I go and do 1 walk for 45 minutes. I start out going, I'm going to do 30 minutes. And then when I get about halfway through, where I know if I turn right, it's going to take me 30 minutes. If I turn left, it's going to take me 45 to 50. That's where I make my call for the day for that walk, not even for the day, of which one I'm in the mood to do then. So it's progress. It's not perfection. Keep that part in mind. That saying is a big one for me, progress over perfection, because I am OCD. So to me, if I don't do something every single day, I'm like, oh, it's not happening. It's not working. I'm not doing it right. You are. You just have to find what works for you. Am I addicted to my walks? No. If you told me I would not gain weight if I sat on my butt and watched trash TV and Bravo all day long and did nothing else, I would do that probably. I have learned to find a way that I enjoy them. I listen to podcasts about trash TV while I'm walking. I found an app that I use. I used MyFitnessPal for so many years. I hated typing everything in, finding a barcode, scanning it, blah, 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 like making the macros work. Hated it. Did it because I knew I needed to track my food. If I didn't track my food, I would go off the rails. Hated doing that. Recently, in the last month, I want to say, found something called, I don't even know how I found it, called My Parrot Pal. And essentially, you can say 4 ounces of turkey meat, 1 tablespoon of sour cream, 1 handful of French fries. Like, it will find, it uses AI somehow, I don't know how, it will find things and average them out and give you what it thinks it should be. So again, I was so used to MyFitnessPal of it having to be exact, right? Oh my gosh, I didn't get the exact grams of that sour cream or whatever. It's just putting it in. And the only things this app tracks are steps, calories, and protein. The 3 things. I will say this app is only on Apple. My girlfriend wants it, and it's not on, what is it, Android, Google, whatever have you, yet. I've heard it's coming on 2025, but we'll see. But I found it's easier. I can take a picture with this app of my food and then edit if something's right or wrong and get it as close as I possibly can. I just, again, have found something, and this might not be for you. You might love MyFitnessPal. I hated it. But this has helped me. And this person that owns this app does podcasts. I think it's called One Day at a Time. Doesn't own podcasts. Has a podcast called One Day at a Time. My girlfriend listens to those. You can listen to those without having this app. So I'll try and find that if I can link a podcast down below. Speaking of friends, it was September of 2023, I was doing a health plan with this woman, and somebody posted in the group that they were looking for an accountability coach. And she and I started talking, and we've tried all the apps, guys. We tried talking on Snapchat, we tried WhatsApp, we tried Instagram, we've tried all of them to keep in touch, and we just video chat to each other. We are not put together. We are not editing. We are not sometimes I just have the phone facing the ceiling and I'm talking to her. It's not always face on, but we chat with each other every single day, not just about fitness and things like that. The other day I was like, oh my gosh, this, and this are going on. And she was like, all right, stop, write a to-do list. We just bounce things off of each other. So find an accountability person is really great too. It doesn't have to be somebody that lives near you. She lives in Kansas. I've never been to Kansas. I live in Massachusetts. I don't think she's ever been to Massachusetts. It just works. If you need somebody, message me. Talk to me on Instagram. I'll try and help you too. I'll try and keep in touch with you and keep you motivated if it helps you. Because that'll help me too, because it helps me. The more people checking up going, did you do this today? Did you do that today? We weekly tell each other what our goals for that week are. Even if it's just, I need to get up and get showered and dressed every single day. We keep each other on track. So if I can do that for you, you can do that for me. I am here for you. So I will say that consistency with the mindset of progress over perfection, it's finding what works for you. I didn't want to wear a smartwatch. I didn't want to wear one of those Fitbit, whatever trackers. I tried all these different things. So I actually went on to Amazon and got a little pedometer and put it in my pocket and just walked around with it. And then I tried something else in between. I forget it was. In the middle, I tried something else. And then I found my Oura Ring. And my Oura Ring is what worked for me. It keeps me on track with my sleep, with my walking, with my steps, with my workouts, with all of it. It's finding what works for you, whether it's in your price point, whether it's in just what you want to wear, use, whatever. Find what works and then work up to the consistency. Supplements are another thing. I went on HRT May of 2024. So is that a supplement? No. But I also use, what is it called? InnoSup supplements. And I've had to do trial and error with those and find which ones that worked. I started out with the whole female shred stack. Now I've got it down to, I use 3 or 4 of them daily. It's just finding what works for you. Again, InnoSups might be crazy expensive for you, but you might have a supplement that works for you from Target or Costco. I get my Vital Proteins collagen powder. I do a scoop of that in my yogurt bowl every day because it bumps up my collagen and my protein intake. And it's just finding what works for you monetarily, time-wise, and just as far as your mindset, because if you can't wrap your brain around it, it's not gonna work for you. Over 2024, I kind of changed my outlook on makeup. If you've been around here for any period of time, you know I got my start on YouTube reviewing makeup products. And I have a deep-seated love for makeup and beauty items. However, that being said, similar to fashion and what I'm trying to do for 2025 is I went crazy for a lot of years over makeup. And I have learned in 2024 to find what works for me and stick with it. And I will say, I have this little makeup case. I got it on Amazon. It's nothing crazy. It opens up and everything that's in here is what I use every single day, including the brushes I use. So this is not just like, this is the makeup. This is everything, guys, that I use every single day. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some things in there, like my lip gloss, that's a red one, right? I've got it in the everyday one, and then when I'm going out and want a red lip one. So I have everything in here. And every so often, I will switch some items out. But I don't need to buy new things to try. If it is something that I love, the foundation that I have been using, the, what's it called? Huda Beauty Easy Blur. I think I'm in the color like cheesecake. I'm obsessed with it for a foundation. I love it right now. Would I have found it if I hadn't tried it? No. But for 2025, I want to stop buying things that I have never tried. So here's a perfect example. If I have an eyeshadow, right? This one here is almost done. If I have that one and I finish it and I don't already have a backup, because I have a backup issue with skincare, hair care, and makeup, if I don't have something that is similar enough that works, because there's a good chance I do, then I can repurchase it. But if I have something similar that works, there is no reason to repurchase another one of that. We're gonna see how that goes. But then on the other extreme of that, my everyday face powder, I am down to the pan on this one, and I will repurchase. I have a backup already because I always do, but this is one that I will repurchase when I run out. That's my key thing. I need to stop buying backups. And just when I get all the way down to the end, if I want another one, then buy it. It'll show up. Why do I have to buy it a month before I run out? It's a weird mindset I have. So that is one of my objectives as far as that for this year as well. So that's it. That's all of the habits that I am looking to change, adjust, or adapt for the year of 2025. I would love to hear from you guys if you have any habits that you are looking to try and change for the year of 2025. As I mentioned, if you need an accountability partner, hop over to Instagram, send me a DM, let's chat. I am here to help you guys as much as I possibly can. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great first week of 2025, and you've got this.